Thanks, Henry. In Tennessee, nonprofits received a total of $3.8 billion worth of government grants, that according to the Urban Institute. But many are at risk of losing a lot of that federal funding because of recent cuts and downsizing and executive orders in Washington. Here in Davidson County, that's hundreds of nonprofits and organizations affected, like Catholic Charities, which learned in January a program helping legal refugee settlements will stop. News Channel 5's Kelsey Gibbs has more.
To serve people in need, to help provide for people who can't provide for themselves.
For decades, the Catholic Charities has worked hard to be the Good Samaritan.
We have a gospel mandate to welcome the stranger and to care for people who are in need.
One of those ways is through the Refugee Settlement Program, which serves only legally authorized refugees and migrants. Rick Musacchio, executive director of the Tennessee Catholic Charities, says the program has provided core services to refugees escaping sometimes violent situations.
People come in, households are fully self-sustaining within 6 months of arrival, and that track record really runs back to the early 1960s.
Catholic Charities provides services first, then submits documentation for federal reimbursement. Well, the organization learned in January it will not receive reimbursement due to an executive order which froze funds, preventing continued service to newly arrived refugees.
But stopping that put an immediate crimp in the budget. Here, it resulted in about $500,000 of lost funding.
A judge has since blocked the executive order, but the loss of revenue is already making an impact.
We have already had quite a number of layoffs, at least 8. I believe that number is a bit higher now.
This is not the only Nashville organization losing out on federal dollars during the new administration. The mayor's office says nearly 400 nonprofits in Davidson County are at risk or have already lost funds. According to the research organization Urban Institute, 396 nonprofits in the county are at risk of losing $1.5 billion in federal funds.
We're looking at a new model where not-for-profits are going to have to work harder to raise the funds to provide that charitable service.
The Catholic Charities is leaning on hope they can continue services. So far, donations have helped them cover more than half of the lost funding. In Nashville, Kelsey Gibbs, News Channel 5.
Every person resettled through the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program undergoes vetting and receives approval from the Department of Homeland Security, which then arranges and authorizes their travel to the U.S. If you want to help refugees by making financial contributions, we have a link on the News Channel 5 app.